Gonna do a test here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the EsportsU Campus Cup featuring Fortnite. This is amazing. We are here for this one off event where the East region will be tonight, and tomorrow we'll be featuring the West region. So, this is so exciting. Sponsored by New Street. Collect wisely. And I'm excited here to be the host here, Paulie Hype, for the Campus Cup. And like always, before we start the show, we got to get the 60 seconds of hype right now. So wherever you're from, we're about to see collegiate Fortnite esports going down on a Saturday in the summertime. This is exciting stuff as we are here for some of these early edition of Fortnite Collegiate Competitive. And I'm so excited to be the host here for this event. So without further ado, let's bring in my co-caster, because I'll also be casting. Little secret. Let's bring in my co-caster on the day, react, and go over some of the exciting action that's coming up here in Fortnite.
Hey Polly, how's it going? So we
Hey,
are
react.
we are looking at a prize pool, so players are going to be throwing out their best performances here. For elimination points, every single point is going to count. We have one elimination, which is going to be 1 point each. There's a total of 6 matches, so players will have the ability to add up these points and show that they are the greatest in the room, right, Polly? So,
That's right.
however, the elim cap is 16. So if they go over that, then their points will not count. But, we're going to have that extra boost of confidence with them.
Right. So you're saying, clarify for everyone at home, if they reach 16 kills, that's the most bonus points you can get.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, excellent. Well, coming up, we have our first heat here, which is going to start the East region. So all the competitors that will be competing in tonight's match will be from colleges or universities, ranging from half the side here of North, half the side of America in the East, and then tomorrow we'll have the West, and we'll be joined by some great casters, Zephyr as well as Bass tomorrow. So some really exciting stuff. React. What are you looking forward to from some of these collegiate competitors on the day?
Oh man, I'm actually looking a lot to seeing qualifiers because we are looking at duos performing as best as they can to make it over and into the finals. Like what exactly does this mean? This means that those competing for a spot in qualifiers are going to have an easier asset with a backrest assuring that any mistake can be made at this moment just because it is qualifiers. But then when it comes down to finals, we are going to see players going at it and showing their true talents and potentials with their abilities.
That's right. Some points that you just made some great points there, and some of them are this is duos, right? There's not going to be it's not like quads where you have a lot of room to maybe pick up teammates, revive people. You're kind of exposed rather quickly with it just being a two-man squad, having to hold down all these different vast areas of the Fortnite map. And as the action picks up and goes into these final hills, it's going to be really the test of everyone's skill because it's just going to get chaos. As we know, that's where the battle royale tempo, pace, and action really picks up here as we are getting ready to go into our first set. Now, we're not going to have a ton of backstory on a lot of these players. This is the very first ever Fortnite event we have done, but we're going to develop that story as these 6 heats react go on throughout the day.
Yeah, exactly. And you make such a great point here. Going into duos, we're going to see teammates having each other's backs, being able to hold hands. Well, maybe not hold hands, all right. But being
No,
able to
that's a viable strat. That's a
being
viable.
able to work along one another in a tactical battle. So that is something I am really excited to see here. Given that if one of the duos is eliminated, they will be left solo in the spars of a loose pushback solo, needing to carry every moment of their life in the game and their duo's life because there is really no safety net unless a reboot is available close to them.
Yeah, very true there. So the duos, the punishment is very high. I mean, there's not a lot of room. There's only one other person that can save you if someone goes down. So you're not going to have a lot of room for error here in these tournaments and events. However, we do have 6 heats, and those 6 heats, a lot can happen in terms of placement to see how these finals do play out. However, this is a one-off event, so the final standings after those 6 heats will be how the prize structure pays out in scholarship funds here.
Yeah, so much is going to go down, Polly. We have game one coming up. Game one is going to, of course, be the beginning of the Campus Cup journey. It's going to set the pace for the entirety of today's East section, but also set the pace for the players on how we're going to see these duos prepare themselves for the journey ahead of them. It's also about mental here. You go in
Right.
ready to dominate the round, but you're going to find yourself maybe you find yourself getting outperformed in game one. That's okay though, because we are going to see these players leeway into a sense of taking on the crown and understanding that this win could potentially be in their hands. Maybe we'll run into a turn of events or see a reverse outcome of a player who may not be doing the greatest in the beginning, but standing up and stepping up to their throne of increased gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. And that just sometimes it's better to get hot across the series than to see how players have to adjust, start warming up. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them are warm, but again, being in a tournament competitive setting is just a totally different tempo. It might take some players might get hot, 4, 5, 6 rounds and heats versus 1, 2, and 3, and it'll change dramatically as we see the standings play out over these 6 heats.
Polly, I'm really wondering if these gamers did take their gamer fuel just yet, or maybe even coffee. You think they're ready for the hype?
We're ready for the hype. I think that first heat is coming up now. We got to do a quick one. React. Join me for the hype.
All right,
Couple
let's
seconds here.
go.
Show us your best hype. Woo!
Let's go.
Yeah. All right, collegiate
All
Fortnite
right.
is here. That was great react. I loved it. Let's bring in this first hype heat here, and I love the Fortnite graphics, the Campus Cup graphics. I just want to talk about some of this stuff really quick. I mean, I'm excited that we are in kind of the off season of collegiate, right, the summertime, and we're still seeing competitive esports. Now that's hype, and that's exciting. React. I'm glad to have you here for the day.
I am too. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I want to see
So
it.
ready.
I'm beyond ready, and there it is. Woo! The Campus Cup is here. All right, first drop in here as we follow alongside you know who. And this game, I mean, Fortnite, look at where this has just come over the duration of the years reacted. It's so interesting to see as we're seeing a drop down here into Log Jam Lumberyard, excuse me. And right off the rip, we're going to see how these players, we don't really know any of them in this first heat, essentially, being a new game here at EsportsU, but we're going to start learning of them as every one of these cams come up and every one of these fights go down. We are going to start learning of these players and develop the story here as we are in the Campus Cup East, round 1.
We are looking at you know who in Ginger Bros at Logjam. We're gonna see a lot of them getting a lot of wood here because this is what Logjam is typically known for. Really good weapons. I am seeing the Stinger SMG and the AUG in you know who's inventory, which is super great. We're also seeing him being able to get up those minis and shield. We're also seeing a lot of players already drop. We have 72 out of 73, so that's already one down. How are we going about this, Holly?
Yeah, and I'm loving what I'm seeing so far here. And again, this beginning part of these battle royales is going to be so much focused on the material gain, and the material gain, and just you're not really looking. Some teams obviously are hyper aggressive, right? They're looking to engage. Sure, maybe the best teams are playing that aggression mode, but for the most part, you need those materials to carry you into the mid part of the game here as these circles collapse. We're sitting at about 3 minutes left here in circle number 1, still just outside northeast of the lumberyard here as we follow alongside you know who, and he's getting some defenses, and that's really the key to one of the builds as well, right? Like making sure you have enough. It's always been making sure you have enough potion defenses to carry yourself through battles, and the people that get lucky with that react early typically have an easier time sustaining having those abundance of shields in their inventory.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Now, can we also talk about what is new to the season and what is going to be unvaulted? We also have the DMR sniper rifle, the 2-shot shotgun, hammer AR, combat SMG, bouncy slurp shrooms, runaway boulders, and all of that type of stuff. So once we get closer towards the center of zone, and we're going to see that rotate coming in about 2 minutes and 13 seconds here, we're going to be able to see these type of rotations coming into play. So when it comes down to the bouncy slurp shrooms, we're going to see great rotation, being able to obtain shield at the same time. So you're kind of in a safe zone right there. But when you find yourself in a runaway boulder, they're kind of like the trees that you can chop down and use to roll around and damage those that may get hit by it.
Yeah, fair enough. And a lot of these items and some of the Fortnite action will keep developing as it's just some wood pickings here for you know who. He's just going by, trying to get some of these trees. He's playing casual and not worried too much. We're seeing some ramp build up north, and it looks like his teammate is at Ginge Bros, it looks like, as one call out there to the east side of the encampment. One team has been found, and this again, also, really quality to note here, React, is that we're actually playing on a custom server here. So normally, sometimes you'll see Fortnite tournaments where they'll be dropping in pubs and try to get like an elimination-based tournament. But since we're actually playing in a custom EsportsU dedicated server, thank you so much to Fortnite for that. We are seeing only people that are exactly in the event.
Yeah, exactly. So also when it comes down to contested areas, I mean, I would have thought that somewhere like Tilted Towers would have been contested, where some of the top contenders do know the area just because it's such an OG landing spot.
Right.
Sometimes we see the entire lobby pulling up with the invite of their extended families landing with them. Now, of course, with these extended families, we're going to, of course, see some arguments go down, but also some agreements. We can all agree that everyone is trying to go for the best loot out there. And that is something who and Jinjit's Bro is trying to do right now. They're trying to get that best loot, garnering that upper hand to get that little extra advantage when it comes down to placement and showing everyone that you are the king or queen of the tower.
Yeah, and that's also the thing. So teams have two general strategies here in Fortnite competitive, where it's everyone's farming for mats, but some do it at a more hyper pace than others. You're either farming for mats or you're going for kills to get those bonus points early. So this team clearly not necessarily engaging much at all. We're seeing them mad farm here, as this storm will now be shrinking in just under 4 minutes here for the first storm of this first heat in the East region. So over to the team here is going to be Jinjit Bros, and you know who. And I really wish we had some more stats in just like what college are they from? That's what I would be interested to know the most here. Like what college or university? Something to maybe build on in the future. But still, so excited to be here for the Campus Cup. And Fortnite Season 3, Chapter 3 is what we're currently playing right here. And you know who's starting to go into the water a little bit. I wonder, React, do you think this is kind of like an intel gather, or are they just going to go for the lighthouse here?
Honestly, I think they are making their way over to the lighthouse, swimming their way over. And like you said, I am wondering what campus or what college they may be from. We see them rocking the soccer skins, number 18. You already know. They're repping that number. I don't know what the meaning could be behind it, but it is something important to them. They are going to be swimming, it looks like, not making their way over towards the lighthouse instead. Seems like there is a change of plans. For their plans, just keep swimming like Nemo said.
If I was doing this though, to me this is like I want someone to see me to engage them. This is what all competitive players do. They run out in the middle, they jump around up and down because they want someone to see them. Because so we just K-Tad coming in with the production call, and he just gave us the update. We're following alongside University of Akron. React, Akron is one of the top collegiate universities in the space, so we already know these two players are going to be ones to mess with.
That just seems way more fearful. We're going to see them trying to hunt for the blood here then. Looking like they're set on stable resources. We're going to find them having an easier time getting into fights, whether that be passive or aggressive. They will be able to use their materials, whether it's W King with their stinger or pumping somebody in the face with their striker. But we're just going to see that aggressive gameplay from them, is what I can expect.
Yeah, and knowing Akron, that sounds proper and in place. As we're like, here's the thing, realistically, Battle Royale, if you wanted to camp every single hill, that's one of the strategies, right? Team rush the hill, we get the hill, which means there's one of those boulder balls you were talking about before. But team rush the hill, let me get in the hill and camp. Realistically, if you were to win a tournament, that's a very viable strategy. The only weakness to that strategy is you don't get to farm maps as easily and collect weapons. However, on the inverse, if you were kind of attacking and just trying to get bonus kills, you also get weapons, you also get a lot of farm, you also get a lot of loot, but you're coming into the hill late. So both viable strategies. So far this team, which one do you think this team is, React?
Oh man, I can't really tell you, Polly. This one's just going to be insane. But we are also looking at Storm closing in at 1 minute, and they are making their way over towards the south. So we know that they're going to get that rotate, probably run into a few teams here and there, and we're just going to get to see them go into play with their intense gameplay and fights.
Yeah, and knowing Akron, again, that's probably what they'll bring to the table. I'm just, and this is interesting piece. I want to talk a little bit about Fortnite, the game itself. I just love how much this game has evolved over the years that we've seen it here now be a staple in terms of gaming. But the animations are so much smoother now. They're so much cleaner. You see the speed lines there coming out of the character. There's so much going on in terms of colors and vibrancy, and it truly shows why this game has just become such an absolute staple in not only gaming but esports, because of just how much detail and effect we see here in the map. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, most definitely. This is such an iconic statement in my eyes. I really love how they implemented being able to, sprint and being able to slide. It does bring in the reality of actually being able to game and have fun with this game.
Right.
I mean, other than that, Fortnite is just fun in general.
No, and you're right. You're right. The colors, the style of the game, the way it's very relatable to an actual, person itself. They're people playing, right? It's not as realistic as Call of Duty or something else. It's really awesome to see, and I'm just loving here to be back again for competitive Fortnite, as we're now seeing who kind of just sit on the outside of the second hill here, as they are just south of Coney Crossroad.
They are going to run into somebody and see someone in the build, so let's see if they go aggro here.
And react right to the top of the nearest house. It looks like exactly what they'll do. Still sitting on that same weapon base here. They haven't picked up or found too many other weapons, and we're just seeing some quick ramps being built up into coverage. And there actually looks like a team that are kind of just playing the outside of the crossroads and coming in with the hill.
Honestly, with who and with their loot, looking at a green AUG, a green stinger, and a gray striker pump, if they get that shot in the face, they will have the upper hand here. And I believe in their abilities to do so. They do seem like the team to be able to not be scared of getting into a fight here.
No, and you hit the nail on the head. I couldn't agree more. As we follow alongside now, 28 people out of the 37 teams remain. So 28 duos left here, as we are sitting inside just under the second hill. And it's just been a casual mat farm here. We're just short under those 100-person lobbies here for the East. And that does attribute a little bit to the pace of the game, because there's not as many rotations or gunfire coming out due to the fact that we had 100 teams.
Polly, something I really love about this game is how slow it can be in the beginning, depending on where you land. Or maybe it could be such a fast rush where you see so many players dropping at the beginning at somewhere that could be super contested. But right now, we are seeing such a slow game playing out. And I'm guessing that when it comes down to endgame, it's going to get hype.
Yeah, and look, I love this shot. I love that screen there. I want to bring that screen up a bunch of times throughout the cast here as we switch over to Crest FPS. Please, production, keep those universities coming if you know them. And now over to Crest FPS. So what do you see on this one, React? Break us down a little bit of Crest inventory as they're sitting right outside of the Joneses.
Well, yeah, we do see Crest with the minis and the big pot. So even if they take that shield damage, they will be able to heal up super quick. Also, they do have those armored walls, and I am looking at a new AR here, the Hammer AR, which we did talk about earlier. So this is like a full auto AR, and it's a tiny bit like a SCAR, but in circumstances, the SCAR would be preferable. But we're also looking at that Rift to go. He's going to be able to rotate super quick, whether that be mid-game or end-game.
Right,
so I'm excited to see how they're going to use them to play it out. And we're also going to see CJRFN having the same kind of loadout with his duo.
Yeah, and that was interesting, actually. Let's bring up CJR one more time here, because I just kind of want to take a look at his loadout here for a second, as this duo is now sitting in the Joneses. You bring up the Rift to go. That's a great point, because you can use that at any time. That can even be your uh-oh button, as in, like, we're in a situation we don't know how to get out of. We're going to Rift to go reset and come out on top. We have the shielding necessary to come down there. So they have blue weapons already, Crest FPS also, which is an interesting react.
Yeah. That Rift to go is really going to be the scapegoat for Crest and CJ. It is heard from production that they are from two different schools, Polly. How are we going to see this chemistry play out?
Yeah, and I gotta be honest. Caster of this, I didn't know I didn't even think about that throughout the sign-up process, that two different schools essentially could sign up together. It's interesting. That's really interesting dynamic. Like you said, do they practice together already? Are they?
We also heard that they are West Coast and East Coast, California and Florida.
Right.
Two of the opposite sides. Now this is going to play out really well. I want to see how their synergy is going to combine with each other and how they're going to have that chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, if they're a team that practices regularly together, I think they'll be fine. However, if this is kind of like just like any esports tournament, you're going to have teams that sign up on the fly. It's how it goes. Sometimes two guys might come together and say, you know, two people might come together and say, hey, let's play in this last day of signups as we see the car go by there. There's so much new action. I'm sorry, I haven't really been around Fortnite in the little last couple chapters or so, and to just see all the new action is so much fun to watch here on Fortnite. So far, they're just kind of holding down, and look, the Joneses is where everyone dropped React. I mean, look at the map here.
I mean, this is such a contested area. You're going to have so much to even gather, being able to farm mats and being able to maneuver around the platforms that is there with the terrain. We're also seeing that they are using the sweaty tactic, looking through the cone here, trying to find out where their enemies could be, trying to sneak out where they're going to find them. And we're just going to see Crest and CJ camp in their little hideout for now until they are ready to attack.
Yeah, and this is also interesting because this is an edit that has been a part of competitive as we see the hill really closing in here. I'm trying to see if I see any collegiate players I recognize in the overall team list as well. Hyper Awareness, he's got the name Hype in it, and I'm rooting for him. But besides that, look at this now. Everyone, the remaining teams, this is what you were talking about at the beginning, React. The remaining teams now closing in on the Joneses. Condo Canyon, the hill is moving away from that hill there, and there's about 15 teams remaining in this. As 27 teams remaining in these final this final area here. The action will begin to go down shortly.
That is absolutely crazy to me. We're looking at 52 players, and like you said, Polly, 27 teams in this little circle. The Storm is only 3 out of 9. We're gonna also see passive plays here, just because of how small the circle is gonna get. But once endgame hits, that's going to go crazy. We're going to see so many fights go down, and we are seeing Cowboy and Hyper Awareness. Like you said, you are rooting for Hyper Awareness, but I think I also have Cowboys under my hand because I am from Texas, and we have to root them.
All right, so yeah, go ahead, React.
Yeah, University of Minnesota, like you were about to say, Polly.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Nothing. I just thought it was interesting. I love that we just saw the Rift to Go, and the Rift to Go animation is amazing. And this is going to allow Cowboy and Hyper Awareness. Aha, my boy, right there on top of the Meteor Comet.
No.
But no, the Rift to Go. He was the only one up. Cowboy was down, and the Rift to Go did not play in their favor with 50 players remaining. He was gunned down right out of the sky.
I am so sorry to hear that, Cowboy. I was honestly
You caster jinxed Hyper. You caster jinxed him.
I should never do that again. Oh my gosh.
No, it's you can't escape it.
We're looking at Bot Boy Kenny and Drakey. Like, what if I say that I want to root for Kenny? What's going to happen there?
They're going to get demolished in the next couple seconds,
no.
in the next couple minutes of the game.
Should I do some reverse psychology? Yeah, okay, reverse psychology.
If you want to win.
Kenny, I do not believe
do not
believe in you. We are seeing them scoping in, trying to find their enemies. So these teams are from 2 different schools as well, Polly. Do you mind touching up on that?
Yeah, and I believe I heard Marshall University here, and the second one I couldn't hear, but I heard Marshall and Alabama. Right, the university. So these guys are sitting down, Bot Boy Kenny as well as Drakey. They're sitting just on the southeast side of the 4th ring here, which is coming in. And look at this. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the remaining 26 teams are sitting in the northern eastern hemisphere of this 4th circle. Teams are going to start getting eliminated, and I love what we're seeing here with the editing from Bot Boy Kenny. This has been a competitive staple ever since it was found in the early part of Season 1, where you can edit a tower, use the transparency to get visual information, and then make your play or your assault based off that. And we're seeing some gunshots come out here. It's only wood, so a quick destruction. But once again, competitive Fortnite is all about that defensive play as EsportsU gets knocked down there.
Kenny has so much shield to his name. He has minis, shields, half pots, even 125 mats to his name. anytime now, we're going to be seeing players go, go, go. It's honestly go, go, go time anytime soon. But players are also setting themselves up for the intense circle of endgame.
You're right, and it's going to be a mix of both. And now in the 5th storm, we are seeing the hill begin its movement course. So you remember, in competitive Fortnite, you can only stay stationary for so long until that hill starts to move. Once that hill starts to move, you will have to relocate as well and expose yourself to the dangers that is of the Fortnite universe. So in the storm here, again, playing that outside, here comes the building, and this is the hill that I think the most action is going to go down, React, as we are just seeing teams are starting to put damage on each other. Now over to Venman, as they're sitting in the north part of the Joneses. They are in the hill already, so this team might be one that's going for that close, get in the hill early, build a defense, and let the other teams eliminate each other.
I really love the matching skins that they have. It really does play the part
Genius.
as well. Super fun. But also, when they're going to be rotating up that hill, like you were mentioning, Polly, that is going to be such a big problem for some teams, whether that be tarping or maneuvering around with mechanics. So we're going to see how that comes into play when it does come down to storm pulling here in about 41 seconds and 23 duos left.
So Western New England and Akron. So another Akron player. So I kind of like this. This is a little bit interesting. I initially thought the tournament was going to be kind of each school representing themselves, but this is actually a more interesting format where every school gets to compete no matter what, and teams can really just prove who is the best duo in collegiate, not in school. So that's pretty. I really like this.
I love it.
Yeah. Go ahead, React.
No, I love how they're honestly playing with each other and not playing against each other as these college students are signing up. You know, it's also impressive to me seeing that these college students are finding the time to game, finding the time to practice and put out their passions with one another.
Yeah, and they're doing that on top of schoolwork, and so to stay in college is a lot that goes into it. Practice, the execution of tournaments, and as well as doing the schoolwork necessary to get those passing grades. So we are now on to the 6th hill, 15 seconds. We're going to see tighter hills. They're going to start moving faster with less of a time limit here if you're new to Fortnite competitive. And this hill is going to be moving down just slightly to the southeast, and there is still 22 teams. So it is so interesting how just one elimination comes through, and it's right there. It's Cut who winds up finding one here. Vexia sounds so familiar. He picks up a double there in the kill feed as this storm has moved. And, React, this is so interesting as we're seeing a big loot find here for Cut. But 39 players, 20 teams are still competing in this small little hill. It is so interesting, like how they're all in just different verticals of each other, right? They're all so many players still competing in such a small area.
Absolutely. And granted that they are holding low ground, they're going to take that rift to go and get themselves out of the problem with them getting storm damage. We're going to see players flying in the air using it as a tactical type of fight here so that they aren't going to be able to, get into those fights. But if they are going to get beamed out of the sky, then uh-oh to them.
Yep, and here we are watching that though, and this rift to go is actually worked out quite well here as Cut is just saying,
Absolutely.
I'm just going to glide down. I'm not going to rush. I'm going to glide. I'm going to land right on top of one of these section areas. And here we are seeing just a nice quick defensive setup once again here, React, with that hill moving down all the way south now here for the 7th.
Yeah, and also let's talk about Storm Surge here. Just because there's so many people, they are going to take damage if they are not going to reach their damage quality here. We're also going to see Cut and Venom finding themselves trying to get out of this sticky situation in which they're trying to escape from other people. So it is looking like they're playing a little bit more passive while trying to also find out how to get this refresh, how to be able to take a team down.
Yeah, no question about it. And there, right there, Venman gonna get knocked down. And there goes Boxo, who Boxo finds up both Venman and over to it's Cut actually. Venman's teammate is still alive, running outside just the end of the hill here. We are down to 16 teams. It is mind-blowing. How are there 16 teams still competing in the Campus Cup right now? Look how small the circle is here, React.
This is such a small circle. I am actually so surprised by all the teams that are still alive. And again, this is where Storm Surge is going to come into play, being able to eliminate those teams that have not reached the damage threshold. We're also going to see Cut here taking so much damage into Storm with 50 shield and 60 health.
Yep, that's right. Ace Hill at a 9 here, 40 seconds, so that hill is collapsing more and more, but it's Cut who winds up staying alive despite not having much. Quick little edit there. Shotgun shots does come out. It's one player in the back. And just like that, It's Cut staying alive. Now, It's Cut does still have 4 of these small shields, so look at the edit. Look at the edits in the building. Competitive Fortnite is marvelous when you see it at this high-end esports level. Milk Shiesty wind up finding a couple kills in the kill feed there. Dominic Flory is going to pick down Boxo as well as Call Me AK. And It's Cut react, despite Venman falling down his teammate early, is still staying alive, still sitting on 40 wood and 142 stone.
Speaking of It's Cut, I think it's time to cut some people out and get some eliminations here. It's a matter of keeping the ball rolling. Oh my.
Cut got taken out.
Wow. Oh no. As I said that, it's also the caster's curse. Oh my god.
You're setting up everybody. You're setting up everybody.
I know.
To react.
Maybe Polly, I should just stop talking at this point.
No, you're doing amazing actually. The analyst work you're bringing to the scene right now is just top tier. So Elite RHQ Quinn is sitting on the edge here. This hill is 9 out of 9. 128 left. There will be a victor after this one. And here comes the defenses. Which team is going to have enough defensive? There goes the Chug team shield there, keeping both members alive. Which team? They both have it here. Which team is going to be able to sustain? 8 teams remaining, 12 players. AK Drakey finds a double. Elite HQ, Drakey finds triple. That's 3 down. Elite H Quinn is still in it. Now over to Tiny. They're staying alive too. Final hill here. Damage back and forth. Tiny going vertical now. Sitting right there on the edge of the storm. Working in with it. That's going to be a shot and a takeout there as Tiny eliminates Dominic Flurry. And there's 5 teams left reacting.
Oh my gosh. This is honestly so insane to me. Only 4 more duos left. We're looking at King Balt and Capodana. They are full health in the storm. They're maneuvering around everything. I'm rooting for them, honestly.
All right, well, you're probably gonna get it because they're sitting at 100 here. What school is this from? AKA Drakey. It's a 1v2. They've got full life here. They're starting to take some damage though, and King Ball gets taken out. I think it's CJR. CJR, his team, they wind up going all the way. Crest FPS and CJR are going to take the first East round 1 here. Wow. Well done. So React, despite everything, welcome back, everybody. Paulie Hype alongside React. So despite everything right there, React, it was CJR who, from the beginning, their team winds up eliminating everybody and winds up taking the first spot, at least in Heat 1.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely insane to me. We had so many duos playing from afar with drilling shots from a distance, trying to get tags at every single angle and having their shotguns ready to greet someone to the face in the midst of saying adios. We also did see that emo at the end of the round. I mean, a little bit toxic, but I did love it. Added a little bit of spice to the game here.
Yeah, no, as long I gotta differ there. Toxic or not, it's not. Yeah, you gotta add a little something here. As long as you keep it in the game, all respect and GG's around. So good job there by CJR, who winds up taking. Now everyone, React, and you can talk about this a little bit more, but everyone's gonna get a tiered point structure here for Heat 1. Can you go over kind of the rules of each heat a little bit again?
Yeah, most definitely. So, Polly, we are seeing these players going down, and we did see who was the person that won again? Do you mind saying it?
CJR, yes, CJR.
CJR. We did see CJR, so he is going to be at the top of the leaderboard as for now with that win in his hand. Super exciting for him, and I know how excited he can be. And then we also saw so many players going down, but this isn't the last part for them. This was only qualifiers, so we're going to see more players being able to amp it up here, learn from this game, and see what they can do better.
No question about that. I really liked how that game started. So we started a little bit slow there in Heat 1, kind of everyone farming, but it was interesting. The camera that we stayed on most of the game wasn't really one of the farm teams. They kind of had blue weapons throughout most of the game. Some of the other teams had purple weapons, and one had even gold there by the end. So it was really interesting to see that CJR, who was one of that early team with blue weapons, by the end of it, he had gold and was just capitalizing on that chaos as their team wound up securing that first round victory. Well, this once again is the EsportsU Campus Cup, sponsored by New Street. Collect wisely. When we come back, Holy Hype and React will bring you heat number 2 in the East region of the Campus Cup, featuring Fortnite. Don't go anywhere.